Hey, hello everyone guys, and today's video is about
Why give MRCOG? You want to settle in UK?
A just glamorous degree, no value.
No one even knows what MRCOG is.
It's very costly exam. I can't afford going to London.
It's very difficult exam, impossible to crack.
I'm DGO, CPS DGO, MBBS. Can I do MRCG?
Is it recognized all over the world?
My English is not good. I can't do it.
Is there any age criteria?
I'm very old. No can't do.
okay, got you. So these are the common questions, right? That you keep on asking, and I keep on messaging back to you. So let's solve all of them together so that almost all the myths are solved in one video, and then you don't have to really keep on googling every time how important it is and all. Okay, so why give MRCOG? Because it is a gold standard exam, it is a globally recognized exam, and once you tell someone that you have done MRCOG, they will not ask what MRCOG. So yes, it is very recognized all over the world, but yes, once you become MRCOG, you will not be allowed to practice in some areas of the world. So it is useful and recognized, or you can use this degree to become a consultant in areas like Saudi Arabia or in UAE, in India, in Pakistan. Yes, it is MCI recognized degree. So yes, it will be useful in India too. It will add glamour to your status, and that's true. Yes, it is a glamorous degree, but it's not only glamorous degree. It will also add knowledge, it will add skills to your clinical practice too. It is of course going to cost you a little, because they are costing 475 GBP from people who are in band B. So India falls in band B, and we have to pay 475 GBP, which is around 50,000 rupees. So yes, it is going to be a little costly, and there are three parts. So that means you have to pay 50,000 each. So that comes to around 1.5 lakh rupees in India. And but you don't have to go to London. That's the good news, because now we have centers in London, and lucky guys, because I had to go to London to give my part 3, but now because the centers are very much available in India, you can give your part 3 here also. So part 1, part 2, part 3 can be given here. Of course, you need to be a little quick when you do your part 3 or book your part 3 exams, because yes, there is a little race there, because there are very few candidates that can be kept for the exam here in India. But of course, as the seats increase, the competition there is going to reduce. Now coming to the age criteria, there is no age criteria. I have seen many consultants giving the exam. People who have taught us are now giving the exam. So yes, anybody can give it if it is your choice. If you want to really become MRCOG, then there is no bar. Again, a very important question that is always asked is whether CPS DGOs or university DGOs can give MRCOG. Why not? Yes, even the CPS DGOs, even the university DGOs and the MS candidates, of course, can give MRCOG, because they only require 4 years of experience. That means 4 years of working in OBGY. So you require 2 more years of experience, or you have to show it. If you are a DGO candidate, and only 1 more year of experience if you are an MS candidate, because you have already worked for 3 years being MS candidate in OBGY. So that's all is required for part 3. And for part 1 and part 2, you can give even on the basis of MBBS. So even if you're MBBS, you can give part 1 and part 2 of MRCOG. Now they test you on the knowledge, they test you on your attitude, they test you on your skills, and they test you on your communication. They don't test you on your grammar. So don't worry about the English and the grammar, because they have people coming from Sudan, from Egypt, from Asia, so they know English is not our first language. So it's okay to have a little grammatical mistakes there, because they are very much used to our accents. They are trained in such a way that they understand our accent too. So do not worry if you don't have a very good grammar, but yes, it will always improve the way you communicate with your patient. It is going to check how empathetic you are and how you can deal with the different types of situations that you come across while working in OBGYN. I think most of the questions are answered here, and yes, I think if you have a passion for it, if you want to achieve it, there should be nothing that should be stopping you from going for MRCOG, because it is of course going to add status, it is going to add glamour, it is going to add knowledge too, because you are going to get updated with all the guidelines, and you then you know the basics of each and everything. So you are not basically confused about many things which are remaining from your basic training in India. Say for example, if you have been a DGU, and then in the 2 years, if you have not come across many of the important patients, like say for example, we don't come across many cancer patients, then of course you are going to read the guidelines related to cancer, and if you come across any patient, at least you know what exactly is important. So that is the base for working in India. Of course, if you want to go to UK, it is going to help you, because then you become ST5. So once you have passed your part 3, you become ST5 there. Then you require 2 more years of training, that is ST6 and ST7, and that you get advanced training there, and then you get your CCT. That means you become an OBGYN, or you become an obstetrician or a gynecologist there, depending upon your advanced training. Of course, you can have more research there, you can do your more trainings as per your requirement, but that's how the myths are solved, I think. I hope this video has been useful to you. Please like and subscribe to keep on seeing more such videos. Thank you guys.